Clapperboard Part 1. The water shouldn't breathe. I drowned at 3:17 a.m. That's what the clock said the last time I looked at it. But the strange thing is, I'm still here. And something else came back with me. I didn't always live near the lake. Honestly, I hate water. Not in a normal way, like not being able to swim or being scared of the deep end. No, this was different. Ever since I was a kid, water made me feel like I was being watched. Like something beneath the surface was aware of me. 3 weeks ago, I moved into my uncle's old house. It's in a quiet, almost forgotten area, far from the city. The kind of place where nights feel too long and silence feels heavy. There's only one thing nearby. Lake. Not a tourist place. Not a pretty one either. Just still, dark water surrounded by dead trees and broken wooden docks. Locals call it Black Hollow Lake. I didn't ask why. I should have. The first night was normal. Too normal. No cars. No people. No distant city noise. Just wind. And water. I remember lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to sleep. The digital clock on the table glowed faint red. 2:48 a.m. That's when I heard it. Soft sound. Rip. Sat up. Silence. Then again. Rip drip. I frowned and got out of bed. The house was old, sure. Pipes leak. That's normal. I walked toward the bathroom. The door was slightly open. And the light inside was flickering. I pushed the door open slowly. The sink tap was completely dry. No dripping. But the floor was wet. Not just a little damp. Fully soaked. Like someone had just walked out of a pool and stood there. Froze. Because I was alone. Then I saw it. Footprints. Wet footprints. They started from the bathtub and led out of the bathroom. My chest tightened. I turned slowly, following them. Step by step. Across the hallway. Toward the living room. Each footprint perfectly clear. Too clear. Like they had just been made seconds ago. And then, they stopped. Right in front of the main door. I stood there for a long time. Listening. Waiting. Nothing. No breathing. No movement. Just silence. I told myself it was nothing. Old house. Leak. Maybe I stepped in something earlier. Maybe I was tired. Yet that made sense. I had to. I cleaned the water, locked the door, and went back to bed. But I didn't sleep. Because around 3:17 a.m., I heard something again. This time, it wasn't dripping. It was breathing. Not from the room. Not from the hallway. From outside. I slowly turned my head toward the window. The curtains were slightly open. And beyond them, could see the lake. First it looked normal. Dark. Then I noticed something. Ripples. Small ones. Like something was moving beneath the surface. I leaned closer to the window. My breath fogged the glass. The ripples got stronger. Later. Faster. And then. Heard it. A whisper. Not in my room. Not outside. Inside my head. Come closer. I stumbled back, heart pounding. Nope, I whispered. Nope. This wasn't real. I was just tired. That's it. I shut the curtains and turned away. But before I could take another step, I heard water. Behind me. Froze. Slowly. Very slowly. I turned around again. The curtains were wet. Not just wet. Soaking. Dripping. And something was pressing against them from the other side. Shape. Unnatural. My breathing stopped. I couldn't move. Couldn't think. An hand. A long, pale hand pressed against the curtain. Fingers too long. Too thin. And slowly. Dragged downward. Leaving a trail of water. Ran. I don't even remember deciding to run. My body just moved. I locked myself in my bedroom. Pushed the dresser against the door. And sat in the corner. Shaking. Listening. Minutes passed. Or hours. I don't know. Eventually, everything went quiet. Too quiet. I must have fallen asleep at some point. Because when I woke up, it was morning. Sunlight filled the room. Warm. Normal. I laughed. Actually laughed. See, I said to myself. Just a nightmare. I went to the window, pulled the curtains open. The lake looked calm, peaceful, like nothing had happened. But the curtain was still wet. And on the glass, right where the hand had been, there was a mark. Not a handprint, something else. Like fingers, but too many. That's when I heard a knock on the door. Flinched, then forced myself to calm down. "It's morning," I said. "You're fine." I moved the dresser, unlocked the door and stepped outside. A man stood there. In tired eyes. He looked past me toward the lake. "You're new," he said. "Yeah," I replied. "Just moved in." He nodded slowly, then asked something that made my stomach drop. "You hear the water last night?" I didn't answer. He looked at me, really looked at me, and then he said, "Don't go near it after dark." I forced a smile. "It's just a lake." He shook his head. "No," he whispered, and then he leaned closer. "It's not." Before I could say anything else, he turned and walked away. I stood there for a long time, thinking, trying to make sense of everything. Then I noticed something. My shoes, still wet, and covered in mud. The kind of mud you only find near the lake. I don't remember going there. But something else. Clapperboard Part 2. The path that wasn't there before. I didn't want to go to the lake. Not after what happened. Not after the wet footprints. The breathing, that hand. But something was wrong. Because the mud on my shoes wasn't just mud. It was fresh. Wet. Like I had just stepped out of the water minutes before waking up. I kept telling myself the same thing. "You're sleepwalking." That had to be it. There was no other explanation. But deep down, I knew that wasn't true. The old man's words kept replaying in my head. "Don't go near it after dark." And the way he said it, like he wasn't warning me, like he was warning what lives in the water. I spent the entire morning trying to ignore it. I made coffee, burnt toast, turned the TV on just to fill the silence. But nothing helped, because every now and then, I could still hear it. Froze. The sound came from behind me. From the hallway. I slowly turned. Nothing. Dry floor. Silent house. I let out a shaky breath. "Get a grip," I muttered. But then I noticed something that made my stomach twist. The edge of the hallway carpet was damp. Not soaked. Just slightly wet. Like something had walked across it recently. I didn't follow it this time. I couldn't. Instead, I grabbed my keys and stepped outside. I needed air. The daylight helped. Little. Birds were chirping. The wind moved through the trees. Everything looked normal. Too normal. I locked the door behind me and started walking. Away from the house. Away from the lake. At least, that's what I thought I was doing. But after a few minutes, I realized something strange. The trees looked different. Closer. Darker. I stopped walking. Turned around. The house was gone. My heart skipped. What? I spun in a circle. Nothing but trees. Silent. And then I saw it. Narrow path. It wasn't there before. I was sure of it. A thin trail cutting through the trees. Leading down. Toward the lake. My chest tightened. "No," I whispered. "I'm not doing this." But my feet didn't listen. Up. Each step felt heavier than the last. Like the ground itself didn't want me to leave. The air grew colder. I could smell it now. That smell. Rotting water. And something else. Something metallic. Like blood. I covered my nose, but it didn't help. The smell wasn't just in the air. Felt like it was inside me. The path got steeper. Muddier. And then, heard it. Water. Not calm. Not still. Moving. I reached the end of the path. And there it was. The lake. But it didn't look the same. Yesterday morning it had been quiet. Almost peaceful. It was breathing. The surface wasn't flat. It rose and fell. Slowly. Like something massive was shifting beneath it. I stepped closer. Against my own will. The water was darker than I remembered. Not just dark. Black. Like it swallowed light. I crouched near the edge. staring into it. And then, I saw my reflection. At least, I thought it was mine. Same face, same eyes. But something was off. It wasn't blinking. I blinked. Didn't. My breath caught. Slowly. Very slowly. The reflection smiled. I didn't. I stumbled back, heart racing. No, no, no. The water rippled violently. And then, a hand shot up from beneath the surface. I screamed and fell backward. Mud soaked my clothes. The hand disappeared instantly, like it was never there. But the ripples remained, spreading, widening. Then I heard a voice. Behind me. You saw it, didn't you? Turned. The old man, standing at the top of the path, watching me. I scrambled to my feet. What is this place? I demanded. What is wrong with that water? He didn't answer immediately, just kept staring at the lake. Then he said quietly, people used to swim here. Was. Years ago. I swallowed. And. His eyes shifted toward me. They stopped coming back. Cold chill ran down my spine. What do you mean? He stepped closer. Low. Careful. Like he was afraid of getting too near the edge. First it was one person, he said. A boy. Late at night. Said he heard something calling him. My chest tightened. They found his body in the morning, he continued. Face wrong. Wrong. He nodded slowly. Like he drowned, but something else had been wearing him. Felt sick. Then more people, he said. One by one. Why didn't anyone stop it? Yes. He laughed. A dry, empty sound. How do you stop water? Silence fell between us. Heavy. Then he looked at me again. It's already noticed you. My heart dropped. What? He pointed at my shoes. The mud. Then at the lake. You've been in there. I shook my head immediately. No, I haven't. I would remember that. He stepped even closer. Would you? Froze. 'Cause suddenly, I wasn't so sure. Flashes hit me. Dark water. Cold. Something wrapping around my leg. Pulling. Gasp. What is that thing? I whispered. The old man didn't answer. Instead he said something worse. It doesn't pull you in right away. It waits. For you to come back. My stomach dropped. Why? He looked back at the lake. And whispered. Because it likes it when you choose to enter. The water behind him rippled again. Stronger this time. And then, something moved beneath the surface. Big. Too big. I stepped back instinctively. What is that? Shouted. The old man's face went pale. You shouldn't be here, he said quickly. We need to go. Now. But I couldn't move. 'Cause the water was rising. Not like waves. Like something was pushing it upward from below. And then I saw it. Just for a second. Face. Not human. Ill. Stretched. Is too wide. And its mouth. Opening. Waiter. Like it was trying to scream. But no sound came out. The water exploded. Something lunged upward. A long arm. And it grabbed my ankle. I screamed as my body slammed into the mud. Pulled. Hard. Dragging me toward the lake. The ground tore beneath my fingers as I tried to hold on. Help me! I screamed. The old man rushed forward, grabbing my arms. For a moment, we both held. Me above, it below. Pulling. Stronger. Colder. I felt its fingers tighten around my leg. Not fingers. Too long. Too many joints. I looked down. And saw its face again. Right beneath the surface. Staring up at me. Smiling. Then it whispered. This time, not in my head. Right into my ears. You came back. My grip slipped. The old man shouted something. Clapperboard Part 3. Something came back with me. I woke up choking. Water filled my mouth. My lungs burned like they were on fire. I rolled onto my side, coughing violently, trying to breathe, trying to survive. But there was no water. Just dry ground. Cold mud beneath my hands. I gasped, dragging air into my lungs like I hadn't breathed in hours. My whole body trembled. My throat hurt. My chest ached. And for a second, I didn't know where I was. Then I heard the lake. Slow, a heavy movement. My eyes snapped open. I was still there. The edge. The lake looked calm again. Flat. Ill. Like nothing had happened. No, I whispered, shaking. No. I was just. You were gone. The voice came from beside me. Turned. The old man sat a few feet away, breathing heavily. His hands covered in mud. You stopped moving, he said quietly. My stomach dropped. What? He looked at me. Really looked. Like he was searching for something. For a moment, he continued slowly. I thought it took you. Cold chill ran through me. I was under, I said. I felt it. It grabbed me. I know, he cut in. Silence. The wind moved through the trees, but it didn't feel natural. Felt watched. Pushed myself up slowly. My clothes were soaked. Not just from the mud. From water. Cold. Clinging to my skin. I need to leave, I muttered. I need to get out of here. The old man didn't respond. I looked at him. He was staring at my leg. Specifically, my ankle. What? I asked. He didn't answer. Just pointed. My hands trembled as I looked down. First I didn't see it. And I noticed the marks. Finger marks. Too deep. Like something had pressed into my skin hard enough to leave dents. But that wasn't the worst part. They were moving. Froze. What the hell? The marks shifted slightly. Like something beneath my skin was adjusting its grip. I screamed and stumbled back. The old man stood up immediately. Don't panic, he said, but his voice wasn't calm. Not at all. What is this? Shouted. He hesitated. Then said something I wasn't ready to hear. It didn't let go. My heart stopped. What do you mean it didn't let go? His eyes met mine. It doesn't always stay in the water. Silence. The world felt smaller. Colder. No. I shook my head. No, that's not possible. He didn't argue. 'Cause deep down, already knew. Something felt wrong. Not just on my leg. Inside me. Like a weight. Presence. Touching. Waiting. I need to go home, I said, backing away. I'm leaving this place. The old man grabbed my arm. Listen to me, he said urgently. If it's attached to you. Pulled away. I don't care. Snap. I'm not staying here. I turned and ran. The path. Through the trees. Branches scraped against my arms. Mud slipped beneath my feet. But I didn't stop. I didn't look back. Couldn't. 'Cause I knew. If I looked back, I'd see something following me. I reached the house faster than I expected. Too fast. Like the distance had shortened. I slammed the door shut behind me and locked it. Then locked it again. And again. My hands were shaking so badly I almost dropped the keys. Okay. I whispered. You're safe. You're inside. You're fine. But the words didn't feel real. Nothing did. I leaned against the door, trying to steady my breathing. And that's when I heard it. Rip. My eyes widened. No. Rip drip. The sound came from the living room. Slowly. Turned. Floor. Was wet. Not just damp. Flooded. Water spread across the wood, reflecting the dim light. But there was no source. No broken pipe. No open window. Just water. I stepped back. Stop, I whispered. Just stop. But it didn't. The water moved. Not flowing. Shifting. Like it was alive. My breathing grew shallow. And then, I saw it. In the reflection. Figure. Standing behind me. Froze. My body refused to move. Slowly. Very slowly. Turned. Nothing. Empty room. But when I looked back down at the water, the reflection was still there. Closer now. Watching me. I stumbled back, heart racing. This isn't real, I whispered. This isn't real. The reflection tilted its head. Then smiled. And then stepped forward. Out of the water. I screamed. The floor rippled as something rose from it. A shape forming. Dripping. Skin. If you could call it that. Looked stretched. Ill. Like it didn't belong on its body. Water poured from its limbs, pooling around its feet. And its face was mine. But wrong. Is too wide. Smile too deep. Stop! I whispered, backing into the wall. It didn't stop. Moved closer. Each step silent. Unnatural. Then it spoke. In my voice. You let me in. My chest tightened. I didn't. You came back. The words echoed. Not just in the room. Inside my head. I shook my head violently. No. No, this isn't happening. It tilted its head again. And then took another step. And suddenly, the water on the floor surged. Rising. Climbing up my legs. Cold. So cold. I tried to move, but it held me in place. Like hands. Pulling. Dragging. The creature reached out. Its fingers stretching unnaturally long. Reaching for my face. And then, loud bang. The front door burst open. The old man. He rushed in, holding something in his hand. Lantern. Its light flickered strangely. The moment the light touched the creature, froze, then recoiled violently, letting out a sound. Not a scream. Something deeper. Like water being forced through a broken pipe. The pressure released. The water dropped instantly. The creature collapsed back into the floor. Just like that. I fell to my knees, gasping. What was that? Choke. The old man shut the door quickly. Locked it. Then turned to me. His face pale. It's inside now, he said. My heart dropped. What? He looked at my leg again. The marks were darker now. Deeper. And slowly spreading upward. It's using you, he whispered. Silence. Heavy. Terrifying. Then he said the one thing that made everything worse. Clapperboard Part 4. The ones who chose the water. I didn't speak for a long time. I just sat there on the floor, shaking, staring at the wet wood beneath me. But the water was gone now. Completely gone. Like it had never been there. Only the marks on my leg remained. They had spread. Past my ankle. Thin, dark lines beneath the skin, like veins. But wrong. Moving. Slowly shifting, like something was crawling inside me. I forced myself to look away. I'm leaving, I said hoarsely. I don't care what you say. I'm not staying here another second. The old man didn't react. He just stood near the door, gripping that strange lantern tightly. You can leave the house, he said quietly. But you won't leave it. My stomach twisted. What does that even mean? He stepped closer. The lantern light flickered again, casting strange shadows across the walls. It doesn't work like that, he said. Not anymore. I laughed. Not because it was funny. 'Cause I was starting to lose it. So what? I'm trapped now. Snap. Because of a lake. His eyes didn't move. Because you answered it. Silence. The words settled in my chest like something heavy. I didn't answer anything, I whispered. But even as I said it, I remembered the whisper. Come closer. And I did. I swallowed hard. The old man seemed to notice. They all say that, he murmured. All who? Yes. He hesitated. Then slowly sat down across from me. The ones who chose the water. Cold wave passed through me. I didn't choose anything, I said quickly. I was dragged. You went back. That shut me up. 'Cause he was right. I went back. Even after everything. Even after the fear. Something pulled me there. Not physically. Something inside me. The old man leaned forward slightly. Do you want to know what that thing is? He asked. He nodded. Even though part of me didn't want to hear it. It's not just a creature, he said. It's a place. I frowned. What? He pointed toward the lake, even though we were inside. That water isn't just water. My chest tightened. It's deeper than it should be, he continued. No one knows how deep. People have tried measuring it. And, I whispered. He shook his head. The ropes never come back. Silence. They used to think it was just drownings, he went on. Accidents. Currents. Panic. But then, He paused, like he didn't want to continue. What? He asked. His eyes met mine. They started coming back. My heart skipped. What do you mean, coming back? He didn't answer right away. Instead, he stood up and walked to the window, slowly pulling the curtain aside. The lake was visible from here. Dark, butching. They looked normal, he said quietly. Same faces, same voices. But something was wrong. My throat went dry. They didn't breathe right, he continued. Didn't blink enough. Their skin always felt damp. My stomach dropped. And at night, he added. He hesitated again. What happens at night? I asked, my voice barely audible. He looked at me. They go back. A sharp chill ran down my spine. No, I whispered. They walk into the water, he said. Calm, smiling, like they're going home. I shook my head. No, that's not. You went last night. The words hit me like a punch. Froze. What? His expression didn't change. You just don't remember it. My breathing became uneven. Flashes again. Cold water. Darkness. Something wrapping around me. Pulling me deeper. I clutched my head. No, that's not real. But it was. I could feel it. Not just in my mind. In my body. That weight again. That presence. Butching. The old man stepped closer. It doesn't take you all at once, he said softly. It lets you leave. So you can come back on your own. My chest tightened painfully. Why? I asked. He looked toward the lake again. Because it needs permission. Silence. And knock. We both froze. 3 slow knocks. Knock, knock, knock. I stared at the door. My heart pounded. Did you hear that? I whispered. The old man didn't respond. He just stared at the door. Another knock. This time louder. Open the door. The voice was muffled. But familiar. Too familiar. My chest tightened. No, I whispered. Sounded like me. Open it, the voice said again. The old man grabbed my arm. Don't move, he whispered. But my body felt heavy, like something was pulling me forward, toward the door. Stop, I muttered, trying to resist. The knocking grew louder, more aggressive. Bang, bang, bang. Let me in. The voice cracked, distorted. Water began seeping from under the door, thin at first, and more, spreading across the floor. No, I whispered, backing away. But my leg, marks, a pulse, pain shot up my body. And suddenly, I couldn't stop moving. Up, toward the door. Fight it, the old man shouted. I can't, gasped. My hand reached for the lock, shaking. The voice outside softened, almost gentle now. It's okay. It's just me. Let me in. Tears filled my eyes. 'Cause it sounded exactly like me. Perfect. And for a second, I believed it. My fingers touched the lock. And turned. The door clicked open. The moment it did. Silence. No knocking. No voice. Just darkness outside. And water. Standing there. The doorway. Not flowing. Standing. Like it was waiting. My breath caught. And something stepped out of it. Slowly. Figure forming. Dripping. And its face. Was mine. Again. But this time. It smiled wider. Too wide. And whispered. Now you can't leave. The old man shouted something. But I didn't hear it. Because the water surged forward. Swallowing the room. Climbing the walls. Pulling at my legs. Dragging me down. I screamed. As the world filled with black water. And something deep below. Opened its eyes. Clapperboard Part 5. The depth that shouldn't exist. I was underwater again. But this time. I didn't fight it. Not because I wanted to. Because I couldn't. The moment the water swallowed me, my body just stopped resisting. Like it remembered something I didn't. Cold surrounded me. Not normal cold. This was deeper. Heavier. pressed against my skin like weight. Like the entire lake was sitting on top of me. I tried to move my arms. Nothing. My legs. Not physically. But I couldn't feel them. Just numb. And then I realized something worse. I wasn't sinking. I was being pulled. Slowly. Into the black. I opened my mouth to scream. Water rushed in. But it didn't burn. Didn't choke me. Just filled me. Like I was meant to breathe it. That's when the panic really started. No, 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 no. But the words didn't come out. Just bubbles. Pointless. The deeper I went, the darker it became. Until there was no light left at all. Only pressure. Only silence. And something else. Movement. All around me. First I thought it was my imagination. But then I saw them. Shapes. Floating. Bodies. Dozens. Maybe more. Suspended in the darkness. Not sinking. Not rising. Just there. Watching. My heart pounded. Though I wasn't even sure it was beating anymore. Their eyes were open. Every single one. And they were all looking at me. I tried to turn away. But something stopped me. Something beneath me. Something bigger. Far bigger than anything I had seen before. The water shifted. Not like waves. Like something massive. Was turning. And then I felt it. Hand. Around my ankle. The same grip as before. But stronger now. Deeper. Pulled. Faster this time. Dragging me toward the bottom. And then, I saw it. The floor of the lake. It wasn't a floor. It was moving. Slowly rising and falling. Like breathing. And then I understood. That wasn't the bottom. That was it. The thing. The lake itself. Alive. My mind broke for a second. No! I tried to say, but the water swallowed the sound. The surface beneath me shifted again. And something opened. Massive shape. Mouth. Wider than anything I could comprehend. Rows of shapes inside it. Not teeth. Faces. Human faces. Stretching. Twisting. All silently screaming. My body locked up. I couldn't move. Couldn't think. Couldn't even feel fear anymore. Just nothing. The hand tightened around my leg. Pulling me closer. Toward that opening. Toward whatever that thing was. And then, I saw one face clearly. Right at the edge of the mouth. It wasn't distorted. It wasn't twisted. It looked normal. Too normal. 'Cause I recognized it. The old man. His eyes met mine. And for the first time, he looked terrified. His mouth moved. Trying to say something. And somehow, heard it. Not through sound. Through the water. Through everything. It's not taking you. It's replacing you. My chest tightened. What? But before I could understand, the water exploded. Something yanked me upward. Violently. The pressure vanished. The darkness shattered. And I shot toward the surface. Faster. Faster. Until. Broke through. I slammed onto the floor. Hard. Air rushed into my lungs. This time it burned. I coughed violently, rolling onto my side. Water poured out of my mouth. My chest heaved. My whole body shook uncontrollably. But I was back. In the house. The floor soaked again. The walls dripping. Like the lake had followed me inside. I gasped, trying to focus. Trying to understand what just happened. And then I noticed something. Room. Was different. The furniture slightly off. The walls darker. Like everything had shifted. Just a little. No, I whispered. My voice echoed strangely. Like it didn't belong here. I forced myself to stand. My legs felt weak. Heavy. I stumbled toward the mirror in the hallway. Each step felt delayed. Like my body was catching up to me. I reached the mirror. And slowly. Looked up. My reflection stared back at me. But something was off. Again. Always off. My skin. Looked wet. Not sweating. Wet. Like it was holding water beneath it. My eyes. Darker. Too dark. And when I blinked, there was a delay. A split second. But I saw it. My reflection blinked after me. Not with me. I stumbled back. No, no, no. Then I heard it. From inside me. Not a voice. Feeling. Pull. Toward the lake. Stronger than before. Hungry. I clutched my chest. I'm not going back, I whispered. But my body didn't listen. My foot moved. Up. Toward the door. No. Another step. The pull grew stronger. Like something inside me was trying to return home. And then. Understood. The old man wasn't warning me about the lake. He was warning me about this moment. Because it wasn't trying to drown me. It was trying to live through me. I grabbed the wall, trying to stop myself. But my legs kept moving. Up, closer to the door. And then. New voice. Behind me. Familiar. Don't fight it. Froze. Slowly turned. The old man stood there. But something was wrong. His skin. What? Me. And when he smiled, water dripped from his mouth. It's easier if you let it happen. My heart stopped. 'Cause now I understood. The man who tried to help me. Never escape. Not really. And now. Neither will I. Clapperboard Part 6. I'm not the one in control anymore. I tried to run. I really did. The moment I saw him, that version of him, standing there, dripping, smiling like something wearing a human face. I turned and ran for the door. But my body didn't move the way I wanted. Flagged. Like there was a delay between my thoughts and my actions. Move! I screamed at myself. My legs jerked forward. Too fast. Too unnatural. I stumbled, barely catching myself on the wall. Behind me. Could hear it. Not footsteps. Water. Dragging. Sliding. Like something was being pulled across the floor. I didn't look back. Couldn't. 'Cause I knew. If I saw his face again, I wouldn't be able to tell if it was really him. Or something else. I reached the door. My hand slammed against it. I grabbed the handle. And froze. Because my hand was wet. Not from the floor. From my skin. Water dripped from my fingers. Slowly. Steadily. I stared at it. No, I whispered. The drops hit the floor. Drip, drip, drip. And each drop didn't spread. Didn't soak in. They just sat there. Like they were waiting. I yanked my hand back. This isn't happening. But it was. It was already happening. Behind me. The dragging sound stopped. Silence filled the house. Heavy. Unnatural. And then. Voice. Right behind my ear. You're making this harder than it needs to be. I gasped and spun around. He was right there. Too close. The old man. Or what used to be him. His face inches from mine. His wide. Unblinking. Water slowly leaking from the corners of his mouth. You should have stayed away, I whispered, my voice shaking. His smile widened. I tried. But it doesn't let you leave. His head tilted unnaturally to the side. You'll understand soon. I shook my head violently. No, I'm not like you. Something flickered in his eyes. For just a second. Something human. And then it was gone. Neither was I. The words hit harder than anything else. Before I could react, his hand shot out, grabbing my wrist. Cold. Not cold like skin. Cold like deep water. Pressure tightened around my arm. And suddenly, the room changed. I was back in the lake. But I was standing. Not floating. Standing. On something soft. Something that moved beneath my feet. The water reached my chest. Black. Endless. And all around me. Apes. Dozens. Maybe hundreds. Standing in the water. Perfectly still. Facing me. Their eyes open. Watching. My breath caught. What is this? The old man stood beside me. Or the thing wearing him did. This is where you go, he said calmly. When it's your turn. I shook my head. No. I'm not staying here. You already are. I looked down. The water around me wasn't rippling. It was tightening. Like it was holding me in place. I tried to lift my foot. Couldn't. Panic surged. No, let me go. The figures around me. Move. Just slightly. Their heads tilting. in perfect sync. And then, they all took one step forward. The water didn't splash, didn't move, just accepted them. I turned to the old man. "What do you want from me?" He looked at me. And for a moment, he looked sad. Not scared. Not angry. Just tired. "It doesn't want anything," he said quietly. "It just continues." My chest tightened. What does that mean? Before he could answer, the water behind me shifted. Low. Heavy. Something massive was rising. I didn't want to turn around. Every instinct screamed not to. But I did. And I saw it again. Not fully. Not clearly. Just enough. A shape beneath the water. Bigger than before. Closer. Watching. Waiting. And then, felt it. Inside me. That same presence. That same weight. Responding. Like it recognized it. Like it belonged to it. My body went still. "No," I whispered. The water around me grew colder. Tighter. And then, something moved inside my chest. Gasp. Not from lack of air. But from the feeling. Something shifting. Like my organs weren't mine anymore. Like something was rearranging me from the inside. I dropped to my knees. "What is happening to me?" I screamed. The old man didn't move. Didn't help. Because he couldn't. Because he had already been through this. "You're changing," he said quietly. "No. You're becoming part of it." The words echoed through the water. Through my bones. Through everything. I clutched my chest, gasping. "I don't want this." Oz. Then he said something that broke whatever hope I had left. "It doesn't matter what you want." The water surged upward, covering my shoulders, my neck, my chin. I tried to stand, but something pulled me down. Ants, dozens of them, from below, grabbing my legs, my arms, my body, pulling me deeper. "No, no." The figures around me moved closer, their faces clearer now. Some normal, some twisted, missing parts, and all of them, smiling. The water reached my mouth. I tried to scream, but it filled me again, cold, heavy, final. And just before everything went dark, I saw my reflection, in the surface above me. But it wasn't me anymore. It was smiling, waiting, like it was ready to take my place. I woke up standing, in my house, dry, ill, silent. My breathing was normal. Too normal. I looked down at my hands. No water. No shaking. Nothing. I walked slowly to the mirror and stared. My face looked fine. Perfect. Normal. And then, smiled. Without meaning to. Clapperboard Part 7. The one in the mirror isn't me anymore. I didn't stop smiling. Even when I tried. That was the first thing that truly broke me. I stood in front of the mirror, staring at my own face. And I couldn't control it. My lips were stretched into a calm, almost peaceful smile. "Come. Wrong. Stop," I whispered. Nothing changed. I tried again. Harder. "Stop." Slowly. Very slowly. My smile faded. But not naturally. Dropped all at once. Like something let go. I stumbled back from the mirror, breathing fast. "That's not me," I said under my breath. But deep down, I wasn't sure anymore. Because everything felt quiet. Too quiet. Not outside. Inside. My thoughts weren't racing. My heart wasn't pounding. I wasn't panicking. And I should have been. After everything, I should have been losing my mind. But instead, felt calm. Me. Like something had taken all the fear out of me. And replaced it with silence. I turned away from the mirror. The house felt different again. Not darker. Not brighter. Just distant. Like I wasn't really inside it anymore. I walked into the living room. Every step felt smooth. Controlled. Too controlled. And then I noticed something. Floor. Was wet again. But this time, I didn't react. I just stared at it. The water spread slowly across the wood. Not randomly. Deliberately. Forming shapes, lines, symbols. My eyes narrowed. "What is that?" Crouched down. The water shifted again. And then I understood. It wasn't random. It was writing. Message. 3 words. Come back down. My breath hitched slightly. Not from fear. From recognition. Like I already knew what it meant. No, I said quietly. But my voice didn't carry the same resistance anymore. Sounded weak. Like I didn't fully believe it. The water moved again. The words changed. You left too soon. Something in my chest tightened. Not pain. Something else. Pull. Stronger than before. Familiar. Like going home after a long time. I shook my head. No. I'm not going back. But even as I said it, my feet started moving. Up. Toward the door. No. Up. I tried to stop. My body didn't listen. Again. That same disconnect. Like I was just watching myself now. Not controlling anything. I reached the door. My hand lifted. Opened it. Without hesitation. The sky was darker than it should have been. It wasn't even night yet. But the light felt wrong. Muted. Like something was covering the world. And in the distance, the lake. Perfectly still. Waiting. I stepped outside. Barefoot. I didn't remember taking my shoes off. But I could feel the ground now. Cold. Alive. Each movement smoother than the last. Easier. Like I had done this before. Many times. The trees didn't feel threatening anymore. The path didn't feel strange. Felt familiar. Like I had walked it my whole life. And then, I saw someone. Standing ahead. At the edge of the trees. Watching me. Stop. For a moment. Something inside me reacted. Flicker. Recognition. Fear. It was me. But not the version I was in now. This one looked different. Panic. Breathing hard. Eyes wide with terror. He looked exactly how I should feel. What? I whispered. He ran toward me. Stop, he shouted. His voice cracked. Desperate. Don't go to the lake. I stepped back slightly. Confused. What are you talking about? Said. But my voice was calm. Come. His face fell. You don't remember, do you? He said. My chest tightened. Remember what? He grabbed my shoulders. His hands were shaking. Warm. Alive. You're not you anymore, he shouted. The words hit something deep inside me. Crack. Fracture. Images flashed. The water. The hands. The darkness. I am me. I said, but it sounded weak. He shook his head violently. No. Took you. I saw it. I saw you go under. My breathing hitched. But I'm here. That's not you. Silence. Heavy. I stared at him. Myself. And for a second, I didn't know which one of us was real. Then he said something that made everything worse. I'm the one who escaped. My heart skipped. What? I woke up in the water, he said quickly. I got out. I ran back. But when I got to the house, he hesitated. There was already someone there. A slow chill spread through me. No, I whispered. He nodded. You. The word echoed. Loud. Final. I stepped back. That's not possible. He grabbed my arm tighter. Listen to me. You can still fight it. You can still. His voice cut off. Suddenly. His eyes widened. Not at me. Something behind me. My body went still. 'Cause I already knew. Slowly. Turned. The lake. Closer now. Too close. The water wasn't still anymore. It was moving. Rising. And from its surface, something was emerging. Dripping. Ill. And it looked exactly like him. The other me. Standing in front of me. My chest tightened. No. The version behind me smiled. Wait. Won't. And spoke. There's only room for one. Before I could react, the water surged forward. Hand shot out. Grabbing the other me. He screamed. Help me. I reached for him. But my body didn't move. I just watched. As he was dragged backward. Toward the lake. Toward the darkness. His fingers slipped from mine. And then. He was gone. The water stilled. Silence returned. And I stood there. Alone. Or not alone. 'Cause behind me, something whispered. Satisfied. Now you're complete. I didn't respond. I didn't move. Clapperboard final part. If you're reading this, it's already watching you. I don't remember walking back to the house. I don't remember opening the door. I don't remember sitting down. But here I am, writing this, like everything is normal, like nothing happened. And that's the worst part. 'Cause I know something did. I just can't feel it anymore. It's been, I don't know, a day, 2. Time doesn't feel right here. Clock still works. But it always shows the same thing when I look at it long enough. 3:17 a.m. It doesn't matter what time it actually is. Morning, afternoon. But if I stare at it, changes. Back to that time. Time I drowned. Or the time I think I drowned. I tried to leave. I really did. Packed my things. Grabbed my keys. Walked out the front door. I even made it past the trees this time. Further than before. The road was right there. Could see it. Freedom. But then, I blinked. And I was back inside the house. Standing in front of the mirror. Smiling. I don't remember walking back. I don't remember turning around. I don't remember anything. It doesn't let you leave. Not really. The old man was right. About everything. About the lake. About the people. About what it does. But he was wrong about one thing. Doesn't replace you. Not completely. You're still here. Somewhere. Watching. Crap. I know that now. 'Cause sometimes, very rarely, can feel him. The real me. Pushing. Screaming. Trying to take control back. And for a few seconds, I see through his eyes. I see what he sees. Darkness. Water. Endless black water. And shapes. Floating. Watching. Waiting. He's down there. Still drowning. Still sinking. And every time I feel him, I hear something else too. Something deeper. Something massive. Breathing. It knows he's still there. It knows I'm still here. And it likes it. 'Cause now, it has both. I don't go near the lake anymore. I don't need to. Because the lake comes to me. At night, the floors get wet again. Not just a little. Enough to reflect. Enough to see things. Sometimes, I see people in it. Faces. Looking up at me. From below. Some of them are familiar. The old man. The other me. Others I don't recognize. They don't move. They just watch. Like they're waiting for something. Waiting for me. And sometimes, when the house is completely silent, hear it again. That whisper. Not outside. Not inside. Everywhere. Come back down. The first time I heard it again, I almost listened. Almost. My body moved on its own. Took a step toward the door. Then another. But something stopped me. Not me. The real me. The one still drowning. For a second, I felt him fight. Hard. Desperate. And my body froze. That's when I realized something. It's not over. Not yet. Because as long as he's still down there, as long as he's still fighting, I'm not fully gone. And neither is it. Still trying. Still pulling. Still waiting. For the moment I finally stop resisting. For the moment I finally choose to go back. And I think that's how it works. Not by force. By choice. It doesn't drag you under forever. Lets you come back. Lets you live. Lets you forget. Just enough. So that one day, you walk into the water on your own. Smiling. I don't know why I'm writing this. Maybe it's the last part of me that's still human. Maybe it's a warning. Or maybe it wants me to write it. So you can read it. So it can reach you too. Because here's the truth I didn't understand until now. It's not the lake. It's not the house. It's not even the water. It's the feeling. That pull. That curiosity. That moment when you think, what if I just get a little closer? That's when it starts. So if you're reading this, and you're near water right now, lake, river, even a sink, and you hear something, a drip, a whisper, a name, don't look, don't listen. And whatever you do, Don't go closer. 'Cause I did. And I'm still here. But I'm not the one writing this anymore.